In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of what we call the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the gatekeeper or the host of this program, known here on social media, wherever you may find me. I am known as the mighty, mighty, mighty Angel Snub 7. I am your soul brother. Number one. There are many people who have come across this platform that we call the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. And they come and listen for various reasons. But many cannot stay with us because of the reality that we present. Reality hurts. Truth hurts. Even though we claim we seek truth, even though we claim we can handle and we keep it real, so many of us, the pain and the reality of life, we cannot handle. So we turn to drugs, we turn to alcohol, we turn to excessive sex, we drown our sorrow in music and sport and play. And one of the number one tools that we use to escape our reality is religion and spirituality. Religion gives us answers, whether it is true or false. It gives us answers to those things we don't know. It brings us comfort to the pain and the hurt that we endure in this life, making promises to us that there is a better place somewhere else in the universe or in another dimension. So our suffering here, we tolerate, as there is a better place waiting for us elsewhere. And there is no physical or actual evidence. There is no clear, convincing, and overwhelming evidence to show us that this is true. Religion and spirituality asks us to believe and have faith that what we're being taught is true. Unfortunately, in reality, unfortunately in this life, the only life we know, the reality is we were born into a world that is not very nice. We are born into a world of predators and prey. Whether it is in the natural world or among us as human beings, there are those who are the predators and there are those who are prey. There are those who seek domination and control over others in the natural world and also among us who's supposed to be the most intelligent of life on this planet, the human being, regardless of race. And we talk about race because that is part of our sickness created by the human being in our life. So you will hear people always talk about the white man, the black man, the African, always mention race. Everything is a race issue. We have become so sick. Even our religion and our spirituality is based upon race. Well, you got that religion from the white man. You got that religion from the Native Americans. You got that religion. You got that spirituality from the Asians and whatnot. So we are put into categories based upon our differences, yet and still everything in this reality that affects human beings affects all humanity. It does not distinguish whether you're black or white. Should this earth run out of oxygen, should this earth run out of water, we're all dead, regardless to race. There's nothing special about one race over another, but because of our sickness, because we were born into disorder and mental defect and disease, lies, deceit, and manipulation. But this is the purpose of religion and spirituality, to give us a way out of the sickness. Or does religion and spirituality, does it make us more sick? There are many abused people on the earth. And let us make this very clear. It is not my intent. It is not my intent to hurt people's feelings. It is not my intent to make us feel bad. But as adults, we should now have grown to the point where we no longer need fairy tales. And we can accept reality as it is. Many of us give our children fairy tales and bedtime stories. Bedtime stories are designed or formed to put the child to sleep. And that's what we do with religion and spirituality. Put us to sleep so we can shut our eyes to the reality of what we face day to day. Religion and spirituality does not come from an alien. It does not come from another dimension. The belief in religion and spirituality comes from a conditioning of the mind to believe in the imagination of a man or a woman from ancient times. This is a fact. God did not talk to us. An alien did not talk to us. So religion and spirituality is unnatural. It is bogus because it comes from the imagination, the thinking of another man. It does not come from a God, because you would have a personal experience with God. But before you can even talk about God, you learned about it and you was conditioned to believe in God and spirituality from a man, flesh and blood, his imagination. Because he had to use his imagination. His imagination. Religion and spirituality comes from a condition of the mind of ancient people. And you can see it in modern day people, especially when we are abused. when we are abused and we don't know. So we create our own fantasy world. We create our own fantasy world. So in psychiatry and psychology, you have people, because of abuse and exploitation, many of them, to escape that abuse and exploitation, many of them develop multiple personalities. They create their own worlds where they are different people and they live in a world of their own imagination, a fantasy world. Religion and spirituality is the fantasy world that you believe and somebody else gave you. It did not come from your own mind. It is escapism because we cannot because we have not evolved, we have not become adults. We can't handle the reality of our lives. So you have a woman who knows her husband is cheating, but she creates this fantasy world in her mind that she's in a happy marriage. There are those who have good jobs and they hate their jobs, but they talk to you, I got a good job, and you know they make good money, but they hate their jobs, but they have to put on this front and create a fantasy world where they actually love everything. A fake marriage, a fake job, it's not real. This is how religion and spirituality was created from ancient people trying to deal with the violence, the rape, the murder, the wars, the lies, and the deceit and the manipulation of life. Spirituality origins from the fear of death. And ancient people had a great fear of death, so they used their imagination to create a place where you never die. The deer can die, the bear can die, grass can die, trees can die, turtles can die, chipmunks can die, but the human being of flesh and blood cannot die. So in the imagination, since I don't want to die, I will create my own place so I can deal with this reality because I don't want to die. I'm afraid. You mean to tell me I'm going to die and that's the end? So why should I be righteous? Why don't I just act like crazy and just go ape, as they say? There's a better place and I want to be good. And they create this supreme being to be judged by. So I will enter this new world. My flesh will die, but my conscience will continue to live, and I will go to a better place. And this is slave teaching. This is teaching and conditioning that you give to the ignorant. And we must also understand that ancient people were very illiterate, very ignorant, and they were very fearful of death, and many things they could not understand. So religion and spirituality gave them the answer so they could deal with the reality of the life that they lived in. I would suggest to us as adults, it is better that we just face reality and deal with it. Things will be much, much easier. Creating a fictional world, trying to avoid reality, causes us not to develop to our fullest potential as human beings and cause us not to make no attempt to try to change the only life that we've ever and will know.